Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Okay, I'm here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where I'm a little melancholy. Not a little melancholy. I'm a lot melancholy today. I wasn't even going to do the show today. Just not. I'm having a tough time now. I don't know why. I'm just. The stream has already started, and the post was not there before. So how is this even possible? What post? I'm not even sure what you mean. I'm going to be spending time talking to the chat too today, but I'm kind of just wanted to what reposted by. What am I trying to say? Things are just popping up on my phone too. Never mind. I thought you said before the show. Oh no. Anyway, yeah, I got home. I was working on a video earlier this morning, and so I ended up getting here late to my house to get into the studio to do the show. And then my wife was home, so I had some breakfast with her, and I just the countdown I think has begun, because I want to try something different, and I got to figure out what that is. But I love doing this. I got to tell you. When did I start doing this? I want to say 19. Well, let's see. I can tell you. What year was Jussie Smollett? What year was the Jussie Smollett incident? I want to say that was 2019. So I've been doing this just over 7 years that I've been doing this show, with very few breaks, a couple of vacations here and there, a couple of missed days for various reasons. When I got my hip replaced, I even did shows after I got my hip replaced, didn't I? Like, I know I missed it the day of surgery, but didn't I? Like, I think I did one a day or 2 days after my surgery. And I've just never, I don't know why that I've never been able to grow this show. Again, I watch some people on the internet who are who just, I mean, I don't know who would watch them, and they have 700,000 followers, and I'm like, how does that happen? For 7 years, to be kind of stuck in this rut for so long. Now I know in the beginning of my channel, I got one of those flag shadow ban things going on early on because I did a video about James Damore. If you remember, James Damore did the video on why, men and women may make different, have different, average salaries on the whole, because you're averaging people who do very different things, work very different hours, who have very different goals in life. And he made a very kind of scientific study on that and presented it, and got just hammered on the internet by feminists especially. But anyone who talked about him in a favorable light basically got beat the hell up by social media, and not only beat up by the people on social media, but I made a video where I was talking about how, here's what makes sense and whatnot, and they're just like, I literally, the video got taken down at first from claims that I was disparaging women, and then when they put it back up, I stopped gaining subs for like a year after that. I mean, literally, I was stuck at, a few hundred subs for the longest time. And, granted, I did, when I've done guests and stuff, more people come to watch. But entire Alexander, what is better, 1 million fake fans or 100 loyal fans? I abso-freaking-lutely, you are so right. That's why I still enjoy doing the show, because I have you guys that come here on a regular basis and make my day every day. I appreciate that. But also, I got to think of my life from the financial standpoint, and I got to think about that too. And that's not your responsibility at all. But I may just I'm in a little bit of a rut, and may have to think of other options of how I'm going to revolve my life around whatever I do. Because I got to retire pretty soon, so I got to make sure that I'm figuring that up too. So anyway, I don't mean to dump this on you guys. You guys have been fantastic, and I as loyal as you are to me, I am loyal to you too. I appreciate you guys so much. So anyway, so today's show is going to be fairly random because I haven't opened any articles. I got here, I set this up, and bam, without even putting articles out. So I think what we're going to do today, this is going to be kind of, like I said, what did I say this? Whatever nonsense edition. Well, we're gonna follow that. We're gonna follow that theme and actually do that. Now, I do have to laugh because I'm going to start with this right here, because the things that people do on the internet are just stupid, right? People that just do stupid on the internet. Now, if you can't see that, let me pull this up in a little bit larger format here. And this something called Political Polls put this up, and Chris Jackson, who's I think a congressman, Chris Jackson is like a congressman who tweets like influencers, the left-wing influencers, the left-wing shills, the left-wing propaganda machines. And this Political Polls put this up. Price of a pound of ground beef. I'm assuming this is the averages, right? Price of a pound of ground beef 2022, $4.50. And then they post 2025, $6.12, a new record. Now, there's a problem with how this is presented. Because there's a few years missing here. Now, I'll show you what where is Chris Jackson on this? Oh, shoot. Maybe I can find Chris Jackson. Let's see. Chris Jackson. The congressperson. Where is he? Oh, we have spelled it right. Let's put an H in there. There he is, Chris Jackson. Where's this jackhole? Is this him? Because I think he's the one who put this. There he is, Chris Jackson. So I'll put this as his link too, and you can go give him your opinion if you'd like. I'm not saying harass or anything like that. Don't do that. I'll just leave that link just like that. Here's Chris Jackson, who says, "Where is the hell is the media's obsession with this, the way they did a price of milk in every grocery item during the Biden administration?" Did you see what they did here? They left out 3 years of the Biden administration. So I went and looked it up. So he puts $6.12, a new record. And I thought, well, if you're going to compare it to the Biden administration, why don't you compare it to the very end of the Biden administration? Advocates the opposite. 2024 was $6. Well, yeah, you're right. And on January 20th, 2025, the day Donald Trump was inaugurated, the average price of a pound of hamburger was $6.12. I looked it up. So it hasn't gone up since Donald Trump's been in office. Now, it may have gone up and gone down or whatever. No, well, this is a new record. That's the same average price it was on January 20th, 2025, the day Joe Biden left office. So to answer your question, Chris Jackson, you moron, what are you asking? What do you? I'm asking. Answer his question with a question. So I just, this is the kind of BS propaganda you get from Chris Jackson. Is he an elected official? Dad, husband, 16-year elected office. Election aficionado, party chairman, political strategist. Yeah, and a liar. You are lying with statistics. It's amazing how they just, like no one's going to notice that you're using 2022 versus 2025. What about those other 3 years of the Biden administration? And also, using 2022, wasn't that the year the inflation went nuts after that? Like, I'm guessing that's probably in 2022, just before you had started having 9-10% inflation. So it's like it's just flat out lying by doing this. And they're just a bunch of freaking liars. So anyway, let's say hi to everybody. I know I didn't do that yet, and I have to acknowledge that. Mr. JB is first in the chat. Yeah, you got there first. Hello. Welcome to the show. Also, Avocado Diaboli's in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning, Kara Soldier. Good morning, the Pope. Tyrannius the Third, the Blessed Lich, with the greeting, blessing of the blessed dead be upon his children today, was crafted by his hand with you in mind. Also, good morning, Doggy Punch Bandit, the greatest name on the internet. Robert Banks, what up, Banks? How you doing? Anna Lynn's in the house. Who else? Nice to see Johnny Boomer Tech doing his job. Unacceptable views on my other favorite Canadian, Attack Alpaca's here. Good morning. And, if you haven't sounded off yet, sound off. And there's only 16 people and 6 likes. Hit the like button, damn it. It drives me insane. Just hit the, even if you just be passing through, even if you're just passing through, hit the friggin' like button. Jesus, it's not that hard. Should I just drink coffee until there's 12 likes? Oh, it's so good. Should I just do AMS? What's it called? ASMR? What's that called? So what's the correct letter order of that? AMSR. Hello, on the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians. Special Can Acid. Also select the boys here. Yeah, and boy. Nomads here.
Stop. Hammer time.
I'm still talking. I'm not supposed to say anything until there's 12 likes. Here we go. Two more. Only need 2 more. Does that really pick up on my mic real well? Here, let me see if I'm swallowing. Can you hear that? Hey, we got 12 likes. Yes, thank you, everybody. Yeah. Is that all it takes? I got to bribe you with annoyances? I'm going to go watch CNN. Oh, my God. This is CNN. No, don't do that. All right, let's see what else is happening in the world. Oh, I also, as I put up my my tweet for the show, it's funny because I was going to name this show having something to do with Native Americans because Donald Trump said something about he wants the sports teams to change their names back, like the Washington Redskins from the Commanders and whatnot. And so that's why I had my little Native American GIF, right? And then I thought, my point being, I was going to put Native Americans as one of the titles, and then I thought, nah, I got something else to put there. And lo and behold, who pops up first on my Twitter feed? Then another Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. So I'm curious what she has to say. She's probably saying, she says something about Donald Trump's and congressional Republicans. Let's see what Elizabeth Warren's bitching about. Let's just see what it is. Mute. Okay, there we go. Here, let's play Elizabeth Warren.
Do you want to be a doctor, a dentist, or a lawyer? Good for you. Except Donald Trump and the Republicans just made it more expensive for you to do that, and might.
What? Okay, I'm curious how what she's saying here.
Have put that dream out of reach for a whole lot of people. So
Why?
let me explain here. Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill puts new limits on how much money you can take out in federal loans, meaning if you want to go to law school or medical school, you can now only take out a total of $50,000 a year. Here's the problem. Medical school and law school often cost way more than that. So
why? Why does it cost way more than that? Why have these schools tuition for everything gone up 4 or 5 times the rate of inflation over the some years? Was it because the government was just giving them free money willy-nilly, making it easy to borrow money? I mean, seriously, why has the cost of college quadrupled since I was more than quadrupled since I've been in school? And why is it that, some of these colleges with gigantic endowments aren't using that? Now, granted, that's just in loans. Can they give grants? Can they give scholarships? Can they do what other things to get people to go to their law school? It may be kind of ingenious. They charge more because of the loans. Of course they do. Of course they do. So, yeah, maybe some of these colleges should lower their cost to attend their school. Harvard has a $5 billion or $6 billion endowment. It's a hedge fund of classes. If someone said, that's not an original line by me. It's like, how about these colleges lower the cost of tuition? Maybe that would force them to. So yeah, Elizabeth, maybe, did that ever cross your mind?
Oh, you're a kid from a working class family. What can you do? Well, you could try to go on the private student loan market to fill in the gap. That means
schools can kiss my fat ass and lower their tuition.
And
thank you, Avocado Diabli. First tip in the tip jar today. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. College is too expensive, so rather than doing something to bring down the cost, we will just loan you more money. Because that makes sense, Pocahontas. Yeah, exactly. Stupid. It's like, I'm still waiting for someone to explain why the cost of college has gone up, exponentially versus everything else. Give me a reason. And of course they keep building, like some of these schools have water parks and lazy rivers and Taj Mahal student centers and whatnot, because they're not supposed to be for profit, but yet they have these giant endowments too. It's crazy. Let's see what else she has and if it's smart or not. Probably
worse
not.
Consumer protections. Or maybe you have to shelve your dreams because you just can't afford to go to school without federal loans covering it.
Or maybe colleges can lower their tuitions so that they can have medical students and law students. I'll bet you there are schools, law schools, medical schools that don't cost more than $50,000 a year. Huh?
Look, I can't believe I have to say this.
I can't believe you are saying it. I can't believe you can't figure this out. But here, that's what you got to say.
I think you should have to be from a wealthy family in order to become a doctor or a lawyer in
true.
America. I got another idea.
What is it?
We should make rich people pay their fair share in taxes so we can actually invest in public education.
In taxes. Dude, oh my God, that's that stupid line. I looked up, because people keep saying, oh, the rich people had a marginal top rate of 90% back in the 50s, and that's why we could do all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. You know who else had way higher marginal rates back then? Because look, there's not enough billionaires to fund all the bullshit you want to pay for. You could confiscate the top 20 billionaires in the country, and it wouldn't even last a year. It wouldn't even last a year. Wouldn't even last a few months. You know why? Back in the 50s when they had those top marginal rates of 90%. Did you know that there were 24 levels of tax rates back in the 50s? Now it's down to like 10 or 12, maybe 7. I don't know. Here, I pulled it up on here. Maybe I still have that sitting on my phone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 levels of tax rates right now. Back in 1955, there were 24 levels of tax rates. And when states say, oh, the rich should pay their fair share, they already pay the most of the taxes. You know, but so right now, the lowest marginal tax rate for taxable income up to $11,000, basically up to $48,000, just either 10 or 12%, right? So that's taxable income. So if you write off a bunch of stuff, you don't have, whatever you have left over when your taxable, adjusted gross income, right? And the top marginal rate of over 600,000 is 37%. Okay. And so the equivalence back in the 1950s, I'm looking at this level. It is so. First of all, the lowest rate up to, which is the equivalent of $47,000 a day, up to $47,000 a day, was 20% of your income. If you have numbers paying more taxes, then you'll have more money to spend. Taxing billionaires will give you probably one fucking pet project from Senator Warren. Okay? 22% up to $95,000. 26% up to $143,000. It goes 30, 34, 38, 43, 47, 50, 53, 56. I mean, people making, it just kept going up and up and up. People were paying half their income in federal income taxes. And what was the government doing with it? So it's not, the idea that the rich don't pay their fair share. Well, if the billionaires and rich are paying 5% of all taxes, no matter how much more you take from them, it's not going to be enough because there's not enough of them. Okay? You take another $1 million from every billionaire, you're going to raise about $900 million. Okay? You just confiscate it. There's not enough of them. So if you really wanted to pay for all this shit, you have to raise taxes on everybody below that level. Now, granted, look, and by the way, billionaires don't make $1 billion a year. They're not paid $1 billion a year. See, these people talk about billionaires as though they make $1 billion a year. They don't. They have $1 billion in assets. Elon Musk doesn't have $1 billion of cash in the swimming pool like Scrooge McDuck. That's Scrooge McDuck theory. We've talked about that here. It's just anyway. So, but yeah. Hey, Elizabeth, how about you talk these schools into lowering their tuitions? I bet you if you had you know what's funny? If you had a cap of $50,000 a year on college tuition or loans you could take out, I would bet you that most of these schools, their tuition would be right around $50,000. I bet you. I bet it'd be close to that. Don't you think? All right, let's scroll through X and see if there's any other stupidity. Let's see. Chris Cohen, what about Epstein disclosure and changing deportation overreach to really focus on felons? No one voted based on that. Okay, President Trump says he'll block the new Washington Stadium deal unless the team returns to the Redskins name. Oh, that's what this is about. This is, okay, remember I say Donald Trump, I say it often, sometimes Donald Trump's just a jackass. I don't think he has any say in this. Why would he block a stadium deal for the Redskins? He's not paying for it. The government's not paying for it. He doesn't have any control. He says, my statement on the Washington Redskins has totally blown up, but only in a very positive way. I may put a restriction on them that if they don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. The team would be much more valuable. The deal would be much more exciting for everyone. Okay, this is some shit Donald Trump just should shut up about. This is dumb shit, and it just stop. Enough of that one. I'm gonna stick. What is this? Bridge Karen tries to block a man riding his bike on an unoccupied trail. Oh my God! Let's watch this. I got to be careful scrolling with the thing open. All right, this is probably interesting. Let's see what this is. No. I'll make it so you can see it better. Let's go full screen. There we go. Full screen middle. That'll work. All right, let's see this. Oh, you know what? He's on one of those electric bikes. You know what? I see a lot of electric bikes, going around, and a lot of kids on them. And a lot of those electric bikes can go really fast. And so you probably shouldn't be riding them super fast on these trails where people are walking, or at least be prepared to, slow down very quickly, because it's a little bit too much speed. It's almost like riding a small motorcycle on a trail. But let's see what Karen says here.
No. There are no vehicles on this trail. Do you see me? You can hit me. There are kids here. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm the only person on this road.
Yeah, no, you could, but there's no bikes on this fucking thing. What are you doing?
I ride here every day. It's an e-bike.
No,
it's fine.
I can't even.
Are you gonna let me pass?
You're gonna hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
This is too big for both of us.
I was going less than 10 miles an hour.
No, it doesn't matter. They're not supposed to be.
Ma'am, I ride this trail every day.
Hey.
There's no kids out here. Everything's fine.
I will fucking call the cops right now.
To call the cops.
Oh my God.
Call the police.
I will.
Okay.
All right. Am I free to
gone
leave?
too far.
Am I free to leave?
No. Stay right there. Stay right there. Oh, fuck you!
but no, what did I do there?
No. There are no vehicles on this trail. Do you see me? You can hit me. There are kids here.
He's definitely going faster than 10.
I'm the only person on this road.
Yeah, no.
How did that happen?
But there's no.
All right.
bikes on
Yeah, I
this
got it. Sorry, I had to. I had a little accent there. Let's open these back up. There you go. That was 100% fake. Maybe. I don't know. It may not be. All right, let me scroll a little bit, because this is all I'm going to do today. Oh my God, I'm almost out of time already. Oh my God. A year ago today, Joe Biden, my fellow Democrats, I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as a party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I made. Really? It's probably the only decision you made. Anyway, today I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee for our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. Joe Biden, your life
makes me sad.
Yeah. Well, see how that went. All right. Let's see what else is on here. I wish I had more time, but I really was in a funk today. Let's see. Anything important? Attacking the rich. Okay, this is, oh my God, thank God Jodie Foster's chimed in. Attacking the rich is not envy, it's self-defense. The hoarding of wealth is the cause of poverty. How? Okay, let me ask you something, chat. And by the way, good morning, Resolute Germ. I don't care what billionaires have. If life were a zero-sum game where they're hoarding wealth would mean there's less money for everybody else, I would be concerned. But their value is basically in the value of what their assets are. It's not hoarding wealth. Them hoarding wealth doesn't mean that UPS can pay me less next weekend because they're hoarding wealth. No, I'll still get paid and I'll still make money what I'm doing. But she's saying the hoarding of wealth is the cause of poverty. How? How? No, well, she's confusing wealth with cash assets, and even that you can't. I mean, it makes no sense. And granted, yes, I understand if you tax them more, you have some more money, but you can't. It's not just the billionaires. I don't know. Anyway, the rich aren't just indifferent to poverty; they create it and maintain it. Yeah, no. Anyway, so now, Obama's in the news too because of this thing that, what the hell is that? Hold on. Breaking. After floundering in her role to reach out to the male voting demographic for 3 months and wasting $20 million, the DNC has removed Olivia Giuliani from a role as male youth outreach coordinator. So it was the DNC removed her? That couldn't have been easy. What the ever living F is this? I didn't make a link of Elizabeth Warren either. Here's that. Wait, oh no, that's the wrong one. This one here. Copy link there. So this person was in charge in a role to reach out to the male voting demographic. She was. That's not going to attract any males. Oh my God, I can't believe I was going to say it might attract some flies, but not males. That's wrong. Don't say that shit, Marty. What are you talking about? All right, let me go through here again. Let's see. Did people all of a sudden forget you cannot say the R word casually? You mean the Redskins? You can say the Redskins. Redskins was a word that the actually Native Americans came up with. And some of the Redskins, the people who in Washington, D.C., the tribe that the chief that was on the helmet wanted them to keep the name. So, I mean, that F you to those who can't say you can't say it. Oh, good God. And now there's graffiti coming out. Trump's a pedophile. You know, by the way, one of these creators on X, YouTube, whatever, went and found some of the transcripts from the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. And as difficult as this to believe, as they're going through these transcripts, now granted, some of these transcripts, the ones that are publicly available, may have been sanitized, but Trump's name comes up. You know, they're saying, oh, Trump's in the Epstein files. Yeah. Trump's names came up about 17 times, right? And almost, every time it came up in the transcripts, it was because someone asked them about Trump, and the victim that they were talking to said, no, Trump didn't do anything, didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, that's because they kept asking him about Trump. Now, on the other hand, Bill Clinton's name came up 77 times. But also in those transcripts, Bill Clinton was never accused of anything either, even though he did travel with Epstein. But Bill Clinton was never traveled. Now they did have, then there was the photo of the massage, but he was fully clothed or whatever. But anyway, so either those transcripts and files are sanitized because who knows why. Or, you know, maybe Bill Clinton didn't do anything. It did not have sex with that young girl. So anyway, but that's, that was someone who went through all of it. And that's going to disappoint some people if that's true, because everyone's expecting, Bill to be perp walked. And I even put Bill in my thumbnail on Friday. But anyway, so there you go. But yeah, there's graffiti now. Trump's a pedophile. Oh, now Debbie Wasserman Schultz saying our Everglades internment camp. Stop calling it an internment camp. Unless there's ovens and special showers, fucking stop calling it an internment camp. It's a process center to have the people deported. But she says her that they went on a tour of the detention center in the Everglades, the alligator Alcatraz so-called. And she says this, I'm sorry, I apologize to all of you for putting this on your screen, but it's for the sake of news.
They would not show us the medical facility. They wouldn't show us the working dining hall because they wouldn't let us get anywhere near the detainees themselves. They are trying to shield what's really going on there. And what they showed us was obviously sanitized. When I went to Chrome on an unannounced visit, it was pretty disgusting. You had, in the intake area, you had detainees that were packed in like sardines. I mean, they set this up in a way to make it look like the least worst situation that you could have.
Or you're just expecting worse and it wasn't. You make those assumptions.
And it's so bad that they couldn't even achieve that. They would not show us the...
Look, and the purpose is a detaining place where they can deport people because that's where they built it on an airstrip that can handle very large planes. So I'm sorry, Debbie, but I'm sorry it doesn't look the way you'd like it to look. You can kiss all of my ass too. All right, let me do a couple more here, and then I'm sorry about the people who share the stream. I greatly appreciate it. I'll probably retweet those all this afternoon. Hello, Darren Root. How's it going? All right, we're gonna do this again. Some people are saying the Obama thing is a distraction to distract people from the Trump thing. By the way, speaking of which, I'm gonna go through the introduction on the Ace of Spades blog today from JJ Sefton because he mentions this too, where he starts, "Good morning, kids. Hopefully you all had a nice, relaxing weekend, and none of you were adversely or otherwise affected by the Alaska Airlines IT glitch that shut down the airline for a brief time last night." Yeah, Alaska Airlines had a computer glitch that they had to shut down their entire system last night, but then they got it back online. Considering what's been going on in the world and what has been flooding in across our borders for years, and not just to pick lettuce or mow our lawns, but to spy on us, commit terrorism and sabotage in the name of Islam and the PRC, I hope the powers that be are on the case. Of course, in years past, the powers that were focused on preserving, protecting, and defending their party's hold on power and generational drive to dismantle America as unfounded by any and every means necessary. With that out of the way, let's dive right in, shall we? As we are fond of saying, in righteous indignation, the depredations that have been visited upon us, that there aren't enough lampposts, yards of rope, and pitchforks to deal with the criminals, tyrants, and criminal tyrants who openly hate and despise us. Wow, that's a mouthful. Then again, I think we have an abundance of all of the above, but what we are sorely lacking in, and the stones to use them, figuratively speaking, despite the fact that our mortal enemies have proven time and time again that they indeed have no compunction in using direct violent action in the form of their street thugs, corrupt law enforcement officers, and intelligence agents, or the power of the state via the corrupt judicial system and bureaucracy to wield power as punishment via process. And he highlights this paragraph from one of the articles he's linked here from the Federalist. The Department of Justice, under former so-called quote-unquote President Joe Biden, actively sought a federal book to justify sending federal law enforcement after parents it labeled domestic terrorists because they were concerned about their children's education. Documents obtained by America First Legal show that prior to the infamous October 4th, 2021 domestic terrorist memo from the former Attorney General Merrick Garland, staff were looking for any possible way to go after parents concerned with coronavirus mandates, critical race theory, and transgender policies. Quote, "We're aware The challenge here is finding a federal hook, but White House has been in touch about whether we can assist in some form or fashion. Kevin Chambers, then an associate deputy attorney general, wrote in an October 1 email trying to manufacture a way to respond to a teed-up letter sent by National School Boards Association, or the National School Board Association. Career staff at the time were even more concerned, saying there was no authority or legal basis for going after parents speaking out at school board meetings, particularly since they were protected by the First Amendment. So they wanted to go after parents. And there's more memos they're finding showing how they're doing that. And so for this entire affair, Epstein is bullshit in light of the fact that, and so for me, the entire affair, Epstein is bullshit in light of the fact that we all knew for years, is at long last being revealed to a wider audience. That is all of the above, and of course, what was done to candidate and then ultimately President Donald Trump. According to another article, the U.S. Department of Justice announced this week that John Brennan is under investigation, and with good reason. Brennan is the most corrupt former CIA director ever, his transgressions against the U.S. coming to light more succinctly with each passing week. Portray an individual who should have never been in government service, let alone a CIA director. Now is the time to nail him. Russiagate was a complete fabricated lie, and yet Brennan, still serving as Obama's CIA director, put in place a surveillance system to monitor at least 24 Trump campaign staffers and advisors. Brennan wiretapped and eavesdropped on the conversations of Donald Trump's most prominent political supporters. When Trump ran in 2020, Brennan, as a private citizen, continued his despicable tactics. He was prominent among the 51 former intelligence agents who proclaimed that Hunter Biden's infamous laptop was a product of Russian disinformation. Brennan knew this assertion was false from the get-go, and that the fake stream media would run with it for months. Brennan believes that he had and still has a sacred duty to determine who should lead our nation. Deluded over many decades, he cares nothing about American voters, the will of the people, or democratic processes. He readily lied and deceived the populace to demonize Donald Trump and all others who he dreams. So yeah, he's the worst of the worst. He's got to be the worst of the worst. He's full of shit. It goes on, but also they have this thing, another little clip here, or quip, on this week's broadcast of Fox News Channel Sunday Morning Futures. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said former President Barack Obama directed a treasonous conspiracy against President Donald Trump during his first term. The implications of this are, frankly, nothing short of historic. Over 100 documents that we released on Friday really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama, if just weeks before he was due to leave office, after President Trump had already gotten elected. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious. It should concern every single American because it has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. Now, I got a feeling that's going nowhere. I cannot see, even if they drag him in for deposition and stuff, a judge allowing that, because President Obama is he's pretty much untouchable. I think he's so untouchable, but he's such a bullshitter. He's so full of shit. I don't know. Anyway, there's more. You can read there's tons of articles in the Ace of Spades blog today, but guys, I owe you an apology. I probably could have started this show on time, and I didn't, and I should have, but I'm in a funk, and I apologize for that. You guys have been great. Thanks for everyone who have shared the show this morning, including Reaction Puerto Rico, Resolute Germ, Amazing Disgrace, Kirsten Scholl, JB, Summonable Nation. I already said Resolute Germ with the Daily Wrestler. This guy's still bitching about. So the WNBA, they wore those shirts at the NBA All-Star game. Pay us what you owe us. And look, I do believe, I would love to see WNBA players make more money. But the product has to make a profit before you can take more money out of it. Because right now they're subsidized by the NBA to an average of $15 million a year and still losing money. And look, right now the WNBA is a charity. It's not a league. It's, you know, and let me just also, because I'm a basketball fan, I do enjoy the WNBA. I live in Minnesota, home of the 5-time WNBA champion Minnesota Lynx. But the league's never made money, and them demanding more money. See, what they're doing, they do this cute little thing called demanding a higher percentage of revenue because the NBA players get a higher percentage of revenue. But if the revenue does not exceed the expenses, your league is taking a loss. That's why they don't say, I want a higher percentage of profit. See, the NBA, they have a higher percentage of revenue because they get a percentage of the profits paid back to the players because they have profits. But the WNBA little trick is we want a higher percentage of the revenue just like the men get. But the men get a higher percentage of revenue because there are profits. And so pay us what you owe us. Don't careful what you ask for. Careful what you ask for. Because there's if there's no profits, you could end up owing money, as far as I'm concerned. All right. I don't even know. I have these links that I don't think they really go to anywhere, but I'm going to share them anyway. Here are the links. There's only 4. Here are the links, and not the Minnesota links, but the links from the show. But I don't even know. I can't remember if I even. Well, we'll see when you click on them if I even clicked the right ones. But there you go. Sorry guys, that's it for today. Not my best day, but I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, AD, for dropping a little coin in the tip jar. Thanks everyone who showed up. And even at the late time that I did this, all 22 of you, 15 likes. Appreciate that. Everyone have a wonderful day. We got to go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye, 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 bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.